Horror games aren't just about jump scares, they're about the tension, the atmosphere, the feeling that something's always watching. So today, we're diving into 20 of the absolute best horror games you can play right now. From terrifying remakes to deeply unsettling indie hits, these games will mess with your mind in the best way possible. Let's get into it. First up, we have the Mortuary Assistant. This game is an absolute masterclass in making your skin crawl. It's not about cheap jump scares, though it's about that slow, crawling dread that wraps around your spine. The setting is eerie on its own, but when the lights flicker and something starts breathing behind you, pure nightmare fuel. It constantly makes you question what's real and what's just your brain breaking. The replayability is shockingly high, and every shift you take feels like you're tempting fate. This one doesn't hold your hand, it throws you into the deep end and lets the horror slowly seep in. If you're into immersive fear that lingers after the game's over, this one is a must. Next on the list is Still Wakes the Deep. This one nails that creepy, isolated vibe like nothing else. You're stuck out in the middle of nowhere with nothing but shadows, noises, and your own fear for company. What makes it shine is how real everything feels. The environment, the tension, even the silence. It's the kind of horror that creeps up on you when you least expect it. There's no safety here. Every hallway feels like it's hiding something, and the game knows exactly how to mess with your head. It's not loud or flashy, but it builds a sense of unease that never goes away. A beautiful, quiet horror that'll leave you shaken.
Bastard. Oh, come on. Listen. Get to the other one.
Next, we got Little Nightmares 2. Now, this is a horror experience that doesn't need blood or gore to mess you up. Everything about this game feels like a bad dream, the kind you wake up from sweating. The environments are twisted, the enemies are disturbing in ways that are hard to explain, and the pacing is just perfect. It's the type of horror that sticks in your head because of how wrong everything feels. You're constantly being chased or stalked, and the fact that you're so small in this massive, grotesque world only makes it worse. It's stylish, unsettling, and unforgettable. A beautifully terrifying experience. And next we have Outlast 2. If you like your horror cranked up to 11 and absolutely unrelenting, this one is right up your alley. Outlast 2 doesn't care if you're ready, it's going to traumatize you either way. The environments are grotesque, the pacing is exhausting in the best way, and it never lets you feel safe. You're not solving puzzles at your own pace. You're running, hiding, and praying. It's one of the most intense horror games ever made, and every sound or shadow could be your end. It's the definition of survival horror turned up to max, and once it grabs you, it doesn't let go.
It's just like you asked. All my anger been boiling down to a heart.
Faith for nothing but lies. God's truth is here now. Come to reckon. God, I lay these hands on this dissembling sinner and ask that you reveal the truth. Pray with me, children.
Next on the list is Silent Hill 2 Remake, and let me tell you, this one hits differently. After years of hype, it delivers the chilling, suffocating atmosphere we all wanted, but somehow manages to feel fresh, even if you've played the original a dozen times. The fog-drenched streets, the oppressive silence, the mind-bending sound design, everything works together to mess with your head in the best way. The visuals are absolutely stunning, but never flashy. They stay true to the slow burn horror vibe. It's not about jump scares. It's about dread, tension, and pure psychological torment. Whether you're a fan of the classic or stepping in for the first time, the remake proves why this game still defines psychological horror decades later. Next, we got The Evil Within. This one doesn't waste time throwing you into absolute madness. It's gritty, surreal, and totally unpredictable. What I love about it is how it constantly shifts. One moment you're sneaking around, the next you're running for your life, and then you're solving some bizarre puzzle in a twisted world that feels like it was pulled straight from a nightmare. It's not just jump scares, it's that psychological discomfort that crawls under your skin. The environments are brutal, the pacing is relentless, and it never really lets you feel in control. This is one of those horror games that makes you feel unsafe every step of the way. And next we have The Medium. This one really leans into that cerebral horror. You're not just walking through haunted places, you're exploring two worlds at once, and it constantly messes with your perception. The visuals are haunting, and the way it switches between realities adds so much weight to the tension. It's not about getting chased or running from monsters. It's the kind of horror that slowly builds and wraps around you. The soundtrack and sound design are top tier too, setting the mood in every room. If you love atmospheric, story-driven horror that doesn't rely on constant action, this one's a no-brainer.
Talk about it.
That's okay. So, do you live here? All by yourself?
You wouldn't believe how boring it gets sometimes.
I can imagine. This place must have been...
Oh, yes. So busy. People coming and going.
Next up is The Quarry. Sometimes you want a horror game that feels like you're directing a movie, and The Quarry is exactly that. It's campy, dramatic, gory, and full of those classic slasher movie vibes. What really makes it shine is the branching choices. You can save characters, get them killed, or make decisions that spiral out of control in the best ways. The visuals are stunning, the acting is surprisingly good, and the replay value is huge. It's the kind of horror that's fun to experience with friends too. If you enjoy interactive storytelling and love horror cinema, this one delivers on all fronts. Next we got Until Dawn Remake, a classic reborn. The remake gives the game a fresh look while keeping all the tension, twists, and sheer panic of the original. It's that same teenagers trapped in the woods story you know and love, but it feels more immersive and way more intense now. The choices still matter, the deaths are still brutal, and the atmosphere is thick with dread. It walks the line perfectly between cheesy and terrifying. Whether you're playing it for the first time or replaying to change outcomes, it's a great reminder of why this game made such a splash in the horror scene to begin with.
That's it. Come on, let's go.
Got any marshmallows?
And next on the list is Alien Isolation. This game is a masterclass in how to build tension and keep it going for hours. You are being hunted, and the thing that's hunting you, it learns, it adapts, it listens. The Xenomorph AI is terrifyingly smart, and the fact that you're often defenseless makes the whole experience feel so much more real. The space station setting is bleak and beautiful, and the sound design is just chef's kiss. Every hiss, footstep, and flicker of static gets under your skin. This isn't just a great horror game, it's one of the best sci-fi horror games ever made. Next on the list is Alone in the Dark. This one's a throwback with a modern twist. It pays tribute to the old school survival horror vibes, but with just enough polish to make everything hit harder. The mood here is heavy. From the creaky mansion to the cryptic story, it's all designed to make you feel uncomfortable. It's not all about jump scares either. It's about mood, shadows, mystery, and that classic slow burn dread. The puzzles are solid, the exploration is satisfying, and the vibe, pure gothic horror done right. It doesn't try to be flashy, it just wants to creep you out, and it does exactly that. And next we have Amnesia The Bunker. If you thought the Amnesia series had already pushed you to the edge, this entry takes it even further. The bunker setting alone is claustrophobic as hell, but when you throw in limited light, constant danger, and a monster that actively hunts you, it becomes downright terrifying. It gives you a bit more freedom than the older Amnesia games, but that freedom just adds more stress, more ways to mess up, more ways to be caught off guard. It's one of those games where even opening a door feels like a risk. Tension never lets up, and that's exactly what makes it so good. Next we got Blair Witch. This game thrives on psychological horror. You think you're just walking through some creepy woods, but slowly everything starts to unravel, including your sanity. What really makes it interesting is how it uses your surroundings to distort your perception. It's subtle, creepy, and at times deeply emotional. The flashlight mechanics, the eerie camera footage, and the way it plays with time and space. It's more than just a spooky forest walk. It builds dread without relying on gore or cheap tricks. If you want a game that feels like a slow, surreal descent into madness, this one delivers. Next up is Dead Space Remake. The original was already a horror staple, but the remake elevates it in every possible way. The atmosphere is suffocating. Dark hallways, flickering lights, distant screams. Every sound in this game matters, and the way it uses silence might be even scarier than its monsters. The combat feels chunky and satisfying, especially the limb-slicing mechanic, but make no mistake, this is still a survival horror game through and through. You're always low on something, always one mistake away from getting torn apart. The attention to detail in the remake is phenomenal, and it's everything a horror remake should be. And next we have Fatal Frame, Mask of the Lunar Eclipse. This is classic Japanese horror. Slow, patient, and filled with that signature ghostly dread. Using a camera to defend yourself sounds silly until you're standing in a pitch black hallway, staring down a spirit through your lens, trying not to panic. The game's atmosphere is chilling, and the setting, an abandoned island and a creepy hospital, is exactly the kind of nightmare fuel you'd expect. It doesn't throw things at you constantly. Instead, it lingers in your head, making you second guess every corner. It's eerie, immersive, and perfect for horror fans looking for something different. Next, we got Tormented Souls. This game brings back that deliciously eerie, fixed camera survival horror vibe from the early 2000s, but with a modern twist. It's full of creepy corridors, brutal puzzles, and grotesque enemies that make every step feel risky. The atmosphere is thick, the design is unapologetically creepy, and it constantly keeps you guessing with its story and world building. It's one of those hidden gems that horror fans often skip, but absolutely shouldn't. If you love old school horror with modern polish, this one will definitely leave a mark. And next on the list is Visage. This game is pure psychological torment. It doesn't need jump scares every minute. It burrows into your mind and builds dread like a slow-boiling nightmare. The house you explore feels alive in the worst possible way. Lights flicker, shadows linger too long, and the silence is deafening. It's heavily inspired by PT, but stands on its own with rich lore and mind-warping scenarios that make you question reality. It's not for the faint of heart, but if you want psychological horror done right, this is it. Now moving on, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. This is the game that brought Resident Evil back to pure horror, and man did it succeed. Switching to first person was a genius move. It cranks the tension up and throws you right into the nightmare. Every hallway feels unsafe, every door creaks like it's warning you to turn back. It's brutal, grimy, and doesn't hold back with its scares. Whether you're exploring that disgusting house or running for your life, it constantly makes you feel like you're just barely surviving. It's one of the best modern horror games, full stop. And that wraps up our list of 20 best horror games you can play right now. If you enjoyed this list, drop a like, subscribe for more, and let me know in the comments which horror game kept you up at night. See you next time.